生きろ。お前たちが本当に麦わらのルフィを信じているなら生き延びろ。聞く。
What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're talking about Legend Izo, which I was able to pull from my discounted multi on part 2 of the recent treasure map SUGO-FEST. So I was really excited for this one because I think Izo's a really interesting legend, and after utilizing him in a few different arenas, I'm a really big fan of this unit. Like, it's not a unit you're going to use in a lot of content, for sure, because of the way the character is built. He's really good against certain pieces of content, like specifically what you see here, up against these three that you'll see in this video today. If the opponent has heavy defensive effects of defense up, threshold, rainbow shield, Izo's gonna be amazing against it. So let's go ahead and start talking about each individual component of this character and give my thoughts and opinions on it. So captain ability of Izo is focusing on boosting strength and shooter, giving them 1.2 health, 5.25 times attack, giving them 5.5 times attack if they've got recovery, Wano, or tandem slots, and as well as making recovery and tandem slots beneficial as a captain, which is a nice little detail. And then of course the controversial effect that was actually a typo, and is still actually a typo in game, but it says that if you tap on Izo himself with a Wano slot, you remove 2 turns of threshold, which is incorrect. I believe it is actually you have to have a shooter character with a Wano slot. You remove 2 turns of damage threshold, and it's very good that he has that. And of course, if you're running double Izo, you can remove 4 turns of threshold when you tap with a Wano slot. It's really, really strong. And then it further says, very similar to Ben Beckman Lucky Roo, if you have a character with Barrier Pierce potential ability, you meet the requirement of it to activate, it will also remove 2 turns of Rainbow Shield when you tap perfect. So that's very strong, being able to utilize these Barrier Pierce characters to remove Rainbow Shield, as I said, very akin to Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo. So it's a strong effect. It's incredibly powerful, and it's one of the components of this character that is why this character is as good as what he is. Being able to remove these defensive effects just by tapping with certain slots or hitting perfects is very, very powerful, and you know, we'll see a lot of play in the future whenever they release content that comes out with these type of abilities that you'll have to encounter. So of course, when you're using him as a captain, you'll get access to his super class, which works perfectly with the rest of his captain ability. Now, the activation requirement is actually a little harsh, but at least there are a couple of good shooter units you can use with Izo that fulfill this condition. At least you can still use mono strength as well, so you know, there's plenty of mono strength units within this activation requirement, but the effect itself is very strong, partnering very well with his captain, being able to remove defense up by 6 turns with his captain ability removing threshold and rainbow shield. That was the only component he didn't remove, and now he also does that, as well as applying a 25% shooter resistance down for 1 turn, so you just get a free 25% bonus damage to all of your shooters. Is very good, because, you know, not too many characters inflict resistance, should I say, and the fact that this character can just do it for free is very strong. And of course, with Usopp and Yasop being a very powerful unit with their super swap also inflicting resistance down, partners up very well with this Izo character. So I like the super class, it's very good. The only thing is you pretty much have to ensure that you run one of those units on your team just to ensure that you get it to activate. And then of course, the special of this character, very cool component too, giving all characters -1 cooldown. It is cool that he has that, even though he doesn't have a crewmate ability to resist special reverse. It's kind of neat he has it, I suppose. And then he does a 20% health cut to 1 enemy, and then also your strength and shooter characters will get a chain multiplier growth rate if you tap on them. So this is akin to Super Tandem Law, Super Tandem Kid, except for this time it's for strength and shooter characters only, but making their perfects become 0.6 increase is very strong. Partners up very well with other chain boosting effects like Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo's effect, so it's very, very nice that he has that, as well as providing 1250 base attack boost to strength and shooter for 1 turn. But the real kicker is the end of his special, which says that if the enemy has 5 turns or more of Rainbow Shield, Defense Up, or Threshold, then it changes block and type slots into Wano for the whole crew, and that's a really powerful effect. Now, another thing that you may notice with some of the teams that I'm using in this video is that we have a very key support that actually attaches to Izo, which is the Mr. 4 and Miss Valentine support, which It typically was supposed to be used with versus Ace, with Akainu versus Ace. It attaches to Ace, and I believe it is when you use a orb change special on a strength shooter specifically. So it's a very minimal amount of units you can attach to. It has to be a strength shooter that changes slots. Not many of those going around, but it locks your slots for 1 turn and gives your shooter and strength units a 1.75 times attack boost for 1 turn. Phenomenal support that works so well with Izo. Get like on stage 4 of a fight, use the special, get the Wano slots, keep it. It locks all character slots, not just strength and shooter characters. It's absolutely wicked, and I'm really glad that that really old support rare recruit that really hadn't seen much play even on release finally gets a time to shine, as locking Wano slots is one of the best things that you can do in this game. So I really dig that this character will have a use case. You know, if you're up against content with a lot of defensive effects, Izo is going to be very good against it, and I really love that combination of that support, because Izo doesn't really get access to a lot of good supports, but that's going to be one that is definitely going to see a lot of usage. And finally, we're going to talk about his Final Tap Sugo special. So the Final Tap effect is interesting because you need to be at the final battle and you need to have 10% HP or less. So that's not going to come up very often. But if you're able to access it, the effect itself is very good at level 5. Being able to remove 1 turn of Threshold, like, it does remove Threshold and damage reduction. Here, remember, it's the final tap, so it means your other 5 taps still have to deal with Threshold and Rainbow Shield. So that effect is kind of redundant for a final tap, realistically speaking. However, the actual damage boosting effect is very good, giving your Chain Multiplier a 2.25 times bonus, which is the exact same final tap damage that you will get from someone like Legend Uta or Legend New Year's Robin. So we were seeing how good those final taps are, and this is going to be right up there in terms of damage increase that you can get with Izo. But of course, that's the main issue with this character, is the HP requirements for some of the effects, and specifically the Barrier Pierce potential ability on this character. I have no idea why they gave this character's potential ability being the Barrier Pierce only when you're at 80% or higher health or 20% or lower health. For every other SUGO-FEST exclusive, you know, they just have normal Barrier Pierce. It's always activated no matter what. There's no HP requirement. And what they've given this character is kind of reminiscent of like a regular rare recruit character. So I'm kind of pissed about that, because the fact that his Barrier Pierce only works a certain HP threshold, it devalues his captain ability and the usability of it. So I'm really kind of perplexed as why every other SUGO-FEST exclusive that has this ability has the ability to bypass it whenever they want, but this character does not. So that's like the biggest qualm that I have, is that potential ability devalues that captain. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Izo down below in the comment section. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.